When power is stripped away and control is just an illusion, the real test begins. Landman. Season 3 isn't just about starting over. It's about surviving the storm that's been quietly gathering behind every deal, every handshake, and every secret kept in the shadows. Tommy thought he knew what peace felt like, but peace is a fragile mask. Beneath it, danger waits, patient, calculating, and relentless. And this time, the consequences aren't just about business. They're personal, permanent, and impossible to escape. Season 3 opens with Tommy finally tasting a moment of hard-earned calm. After the chaos of Season 2, where losing MTEX felt like losing the last anchor in his life, he now stands at the helm of CTT Oil Exploration and Cattle, a venture born from necessity, but fueled by family, loyalty, and instinct. Tommy's life has changed, but not in the way he expected. The boardrooms are gone, replaced with oil rigs, contracts, and the constant hum of new machinery. For the first time, Tommy is betting entirely on himself and the people he trusts the most. Cooper is by his side, steady and reliable, and TL brings the kind of calm, sharp intellect that balances Tommy's fire. Together, they're not just building a business, they're building a legacy from scratch, one that belongs solely to them. Yet even in these moments of triumph, there's a shadow hovering over every decision. Galeno remains an unseen but ever-present threat. Season 2 left him lurking, watching, and testing boundaries. His charm, patience, and calculating mind make him the perfect storm's eye, and Tommy knows that every choice he makes could be feeding into Galeno's larger plan. The danger isn't always obvious. It's in the small cracks, in the subtle manipulations, and in the whispers of people who once swore loyalty. Tommy has learned to read those signs, but even the best instincts aren't enough when someone like Galeno is involved. Meanwhile, life outside the office is equally precarious. Cammy, still reeling from the fallout of her actions in Season 2, is walking a tightrope of ambition and vulnerability. Her takeover of MTEX gave her control, yes, but it also brought isolation, pressure, and the relentless glare of public scrutiny. Every decision she makes has consequences that ripple far beyond the boardroom. The offshore oil rig storyline, which seemed like a simple business move, now feels like a powder keg. Newsom's expedition into the depths of the ocean is not just a pursuit of profit. It's a gamble that could either secure Cammy's future or unravel it entirely. And Tommy knows that whatever happens there, it will inevitably intersect with his world, pulling him into conflicts that are no longer theoretical, but dangerously real. The family dynamic adds another layer of tension. Tommy's role as a father and partner continues to challenge him. He's learned that business and family can't exist in separate worlds, they bleed into each other, and every misstep carries emotional consequences. Cammy's fractured relationship with Tommy hasn't healed, and their interactions are now defined by careful negotiations, unspoken resentments, and fleeting moments of vulnerability. Trust, once broken, is not easily rebuilt, and both of them are learning just how much the past can shape the present. For Tommy, the calm is temporary, a rare moment to catch his breath before the inevitable storms hit. Season 3 doesn't waste time easing the audience into tension. It ratchets it up immediately. Galeno's machinations are already in motion, the offshore rigs are ticking toward disaster, and the subtle shifts in family loyalties suggest that no one is entirely safe. Every character is repositioned, every relationship tested, and every decision carries weight. Tommy's journey isn't just about survival, it's about understanding the cost of starting over in a world where every victory is shadowed by an equal threat. The stage is set for a season that will challenge every instinct, every alliance, and every sense of control Tommy has fought so hard to reclaim. As Season 3 begins, one question looms above all else. Will Tommy's choice to build his own empire from scratch be his greatest triumph, or the spark that ignites a series of events he may never recover from? Peace may have touched his life briefly, but in Landman, peace is never permanent, and danger is always patient. The calm that opens the season is only the surface. It's a fragile veneer over a world that has already begun to shift beneath Tommy's feet. The tension in Season 3 deepens quickly as Tommy realizes that starting over doesn't shield him from hidden enemies. Every ally now has the potential to become a liability, and every handshake could conceal an agenda. The intricate web of power that surrounded MTEX may be gone, but in its place lies a far more unpredictable battlefield. Rival companies, rival families, and unspoken grudges are all quietly aligning, and Tommy must navigate this labyrinth with instincts sharpened by loss, patience, and the hard lessons of survival. He is no longer just reacting, he is strategizing, anticipating moves he cannot see yet. The weight of responsibility is crushing, but it fuels a focus that makes him formidable. Galino's influence permeates more than the boardrooms or corporate corridors. His presence is like a slow poison, unnoticed until it spreads widely. He manipulates situations, exploiting weaknesses in Tommy's network, testing loyalty, and forcing decisions that seem minor but carry consequences that reverberate through every facet of life. Galino thrives in chaos without revealing himself. The beauty of his threat is that it is invisible until it strikes. For Tommy, recognizing Galino's strategies requires patience, observation, and an understanding of human nature that few possess. Every move must be calculated because a single misstep could unravel everything he has built, with blood, sweat, and relentless determination. Meanwhile, the offshore project looms like a dormant volcano. What was meant to be a daring venture now carries the potential to ignite conflict across oceans. Newsom's mission to discover new reserves is fraught with unseen dangers, technical failures, environmental risks, and rival factions seeking to sabotage the effort. Tommy knows the stakes extend far beyond profit. The success or failure of this endeavor will determine the survival of his new enterprise and, ultimately, his reputation. Cammy, observing from the sidelines, navigates her own delicate balancing act. Her ambitions are no longer simple. They are entwined with her ego, public perception, and the constant reminder that fortune can change in a heartbeat. Every drilling decision she makes has repercussions that ripple into Tommy's carefully constructed world, setting the stage for collisions neither of them can avoid. Personal relationships complicate matters even further. Tommy's bond with his family is tested in subtle, yet profound ways. Small moments of tension reveal long-standing cracks. A missed dinner, a sharp word, or an unspoken disappointment can ignite emotional avalanches that are difficult to control. Cooper's steady presence offers support, but even he is drawn into conflicts that blur lines between friendship and obligation. TL's loyalty is tested as strategic choices force him to confront his own priorities and moral compass. The interpersonal dynamics of Season 3 are intricate, constantly shifting, and impossible to predict. No one is immune to stress, and no alliance is permanent. Season 3 amplifies suspense not just through threats, but through timing. Danger rarely announces itself directly. Instead, it arrives in calculated moments that destabilize confidence. A seemingly trivial meeting might conceal a trap. A casual conversation might expose hidden motives. Tommy must balance assertiveness with caution, intuition with logic, and instinct with foresight. Every decision is a gamble, and the audience is left on edge, constantly questioning what will go wrong next. The tension is unrelenting, pushing the story forward with a sense of urgency that mirrors the characters' lives. And then there are the moral complexities that define this season. Tommy's decisions are no longer about profit alone. They touch on ethics, loyalty, and the boundaries of personal integrity. Choices that seem necessary for survival often have unintended consequences for those around him. Cammy, grappling with her own ambitions, faces dilemmas that challenge her values, while Cooper and TL confront scenarios that force them to question whether their allegiance to Tommy can withstand the pressures they face. The intertwining of professional and personal dilemmas creates a narrative that is both engaging and psychologically rich. Ultimately, Season 3 of Landman is a study in tension, strategy, and human resilience. Tommy's journey is not simply about rebuilding an empire, it is about recognizing that every victory carries a hidden cost, that danger can hide behind every corner, and that the most threatening enemies are often those who appear to be allies. The shadows cast by ambition, betrayal, and unforeseen challenges stretch long and wide, creating a season that promises to captivate viewers with relentless suspense and emotional complexity. Season 3 asks not just whether Tommy can survive, but whether he can thrive in a world where uncertainty, rules, and consequences are unforgiving. As Season 3 progresses, the stakes escalate beyond anything Tommy has faced. His journey is no longer merely about survival. It has become a test of strategy, courage, and judgment under relentless pressure. Every decision is under scrutiny, and every alliance carries potential risk. Rival factions, both familiar and new, are maneuvering with quiet precision, attempting to exploit vulnerabilities in Tommy's fledgling enterprise. The very tools he has relied on to stabilize his world, trust, loyalty, and careful planning, now seem fragile, almost insufficient, against the subtle forces moving behind the scenes. Tension lingers in every scene, unspoken but palpable, as Tommy navigates a labyrinth of shifting loyalties and hidden agendas. Galino's shadow looms larger than ever. Unlike straightforward threats, his influence is pervasive, yet undetectable. A constant presence that shapes events before they even unfold. He orchestrates interactions with finesse, testing boundaries without revealing the full extent of his intentions. Every move Tommy makes feels like it is being anticipated, and the sense of danger grows not from visible confrontations, but from subtle manipulations that unsettle even the most confident individuals. Galino's calm exterior masks the storm he brings, and the realization that he may be several steps ahead forces Tommy into a state of heightened vigilance, constantly reassessing priorities and questioning the intentions of those around him. Meanwhile, the offshore venture, once seen as a calculated gamble, transforms into a ticking time bomb. Technical difficulties, unpredictable weather conditions, and hidden operational challenges create constant tension, while competitors lurk, ready to capitalize on missteps. Newsom's crew must navigate these threats, balancing ambition with caution, knowing that a single error could spell disaster. The success of this project is no longer simply a measure of financial gain. It is an intricate test of endurance, ingenuity, and foresight. Every drilling decision becomes a moment of suspense, with consequences that ripple far beyond the immediate outcome, threatening the stability of Tommy's carefully constructed world. Personal dynamics further heighten the drama. Relationships that seemed stable are tested under stress, revealing fragilities and unspoken conflicts. Cammie's ambition pushes her into confrontations that risk damaging both her personal and professional connections. Small misunderstandings evolve into significant fractures, and moments of trust are rare and precious. Cooper and TL, who provide a backbone of reliability, are also confronted with challenges that test their convictions and reveal vulnerabilities. Even minor miscommunications have outsized effects, creating tension that is as much emotional as it is strategic. Every character is forced to confront the implications of their choices, creating a layered narrative where personal stakes are inseparable from professional ones. Season 3 also introduces unexpected partnerships and alliances, further complicating the landscape. Individuals once thought to be adversaries now offer surprising opportunities, while trusted allies occasionally reveal hidden agendas. The complexity of these relationships generates suspense as the audience is left questioning motives and anticipating betrayals. In a world where every interaction carries the weight of potential consequence, Tommy must balance caution with boldness, intuition with pragmatism. The season emphasizes that in high-stakes environments, flexibility and the ability to adapt are as crucial as strength and resilience. Ethical dilemmas add depth to the tension. Decisions that appear necessary for survival are rarely simple, forcing characters to weigh moral principles against practical outcomes. Tommy's judgment is continually challenged, as choices that benefit his enterprise may have adverse effects on those he values most. Cammie, navigating her ambitions, encounters situations that test her integrity, while Cooper and TL face conflicts that compel them to confront personal values and loyalties. The intertwining of ethical challenges with operational risks enriches the narrative, heightening suspense and emphasizing that the season is as much about moral navigation as it is about strategic execution. Throughout Season 3, suspense is built not only through immediate danger, but also through anticipation. Every scene carries a sense of impending consequence, a tension that keeps viewers engaged and invested in the unfolding drama. Tommy's trajectory illustrates that rebuilding after upheaval is never straightforward. It is a continuous negotiation with uncertainty, risk, and human complexity. By presenting a world where decisions have layered repercussions, the season engages the audience in a narrative that is unpredictable, intense, and deeply immersive. Ultimately, this portion of Season 3 is defined by escalation. Threats, both visible and hidden, intensify, and the interplay between ambition, loyalty, and personal consequence creates a compelling tension that drives the story forward. Tommy is no longer merely reacting to events. He is navigating a complex network of interdependent risks, alliances, and moral quandaries, all while attempting to assert control over a world that is inherently unstable. Season 3's power lies in its unpredictability, its layered suspense, and its relentless focus on the human cost of ambition, loyalty, and survival. The mid-season tension reaches new heights as Tommy confronts the reality that building a fresh enterprise is far more treacherous than he imagined. Every strategy has consequences, and the carefully constructed balance of family, business, and loyalty begins to crack under pressure. External threats are multiplying, but the real danger emerges from unexpected fractures within the inner circle. Trust is no longer automatic. It must be earned continuously, tested with every interaction, and verified through subtle observation. Allies become unpredictable, some motivated by self-interest, others swayed by hidden agendas. For Tommy, even those he once considered unwavering now require scrutiny, patience, and occasionally confrontation. Galino's maneuvers continue to shape the unfolding story, revealing layers of strategy that highlight his cunning. Unlike straightforward adversaries, his influence works quietly, manipulating scenarios without appearing to act directly. He forces Tommy to make choices that carry moral, financial, and emotional weight simultaneously, and the consequences of these decisions reverberate in ways that are impossible to anticipate. Galino's unpredictability is part of his power. He does not strike with force, but with precision, ensuring that every outcome serves a purpose in his broader, unseen design. Tommy's awareness of this shadowy presence adds tension to every decision, leaving him constantly evaluating risks in a world where even small miscalculations can be catastrophic. Meanwhile, the offshore operation, intended to solidify Tommy's and Cammy's positions, becomes a source of escalating peril. Unforeseen complications threaten the project at every stage. Structural setbacks, supply chain interruptions, and human error introduce a sense of vulnerability that amplifies suspense. Each day of operations carries a hidden threat, and the possibility of disaster looms over every success. Cammy's involvement becomes increasingly high stakes as her choices influence not only financial outcomes, but also the relationships around her. The interplay between her ambitions and Tommy's cautious optimism generates a narrative tension that drives the audience to question what will collapse first: the project, their alliance, or the fragile trust that remains between them. Personal relationships intensify in parallel with professional pressures. Tommy's interactions with his family reveal the delicate balance between protection and independence. Each conversation carries undercurrents of unresolved resentment, unspoken concern, and cautious optimism. Cooper and TL, while reliable, face challenges that test their ability to maintain loyalty under stress, especially as unexpected alliances and hidden motives emerge within their shared environment. The emotional stakes are as compelling as the professional ones, illustrating that the most dangerous fractures often occur in private, quiet moments rather than in public confrontations. This dual tension keeps viewers engaged, blending suspense with a human, relatable dimension that resonates beyond the immediate narrative. The season's structure emphasizes the unpredictability of power and ambition. Alliances that appear secure can unravel in an instant, revealing vulnerabilities that adversaries are quick to exploit. Rival factions seize opportunities created by even minor missteps, and the consequences escalate rapidly, ensuring that no victory is ever fully secure. Tommy is forced to confront the reality that control is temporary, influence is fragile, and success depends as much on foresight and intuition as it does on skill and effort. Season 3 consistently challenges characters to anticipate consequences that extend far beyond immediate outcomes, creating an immersive, tension-filled experience for the audience. Ethical dilemmas continue to drive suspense and character development. Tommy and those around him are constantly faced with situations where the right choice is ambiguous, the consequences unavoidable, and the moral implications deeply personal. Cammie's ambition brings her into morally complex scenarios that test her integrity, while Cooper and Dell must reconcile loyalty with pragmatism as they navigate situations that threaten both enterprise and personal safety. The storytelling emphasizes that strategic decisions are rarely simple. They are intertwined with human vulnerability, ambition, and the unpredictable impact of external forces. By the midpoint, Landman Season 3 has evolved into a narrative that is as much about psychology as it is about strategy. Every action, every interaction, every choice carries hidden weight, creating a sense of continuous suspense that engages viewers on multiple levels. The combination of external threats, internal fragility, and the moral complexities of leadership ensures that no character or viewer can ever feel fully secure. Tommy's journey in this section illustrates that resilience, insight, and adaptability are the only constants in a world where chaos can emerge suddenly, alliances shift without due warning, and consequences are always imminent. Season 3, at this stage, solidifies its reputation as a high-stakes drama where every victory is temporary, every relationship fragile, and every decision potentially irreversible. The rising tension, combined with unexpected alliances, looming external threats, and personal dilemmas, sets the stage for a gripping continuation that promises to push all characters to their limits. The audience is left on the edge of their seats, fully invested in the unfolding drama, aware that the next turn could redefine power, loyalty, and survival in ways no one could have anticipated. As Landman Season 3 nears its apex, every tension, every subtle threat, and every fractured trust converges into a landscape of high-stakes confrontation. Tommy, who has spent the season carefully balancing ambition, loyalty, and personal stakes, now faces a culmination of challenges that demand not only skill, but an unwavering resolve. Decisions that were once theoretical now carry immediate consequences. Rival factions, long hidden, reveal themselves with precision, testing Tommy's judgment and the strength of the alliances he has painstakingly cultivated. Every interaction is imbued with risk, and every move could tilt the fragile balance of power. The narrative escalates as the season presses forward, leaving viewers suspended on the edge of uncertainty, where triumph and disaster are separated by the thinnest of margins. Galeno emerges as the season's central force of disruption. His maneuvers, once subtle, now demand direct confrontation. Unlike other adversaries, he does not rely on brute force. Instead, his strategy is cerebral, psychological, and devastatingly effective. He orchestrates sequences of events that manipulate perception, destabilize alliances, and exploit even minor lapses in judgment. Tommy is compelled to engage in a mental chess match, anticipating Galeno's moves, countering threats, and safeguarding both his venture and those he holds dear. The tension lies not only in the immediate danger, but in the pervasive uncertainty that Galeno injects into every decision. Tommy's every action is scrutinized, and the looming question remains: can he anticipate the unpredictable without succumbing to error? The offshore endeavor, which has hovered as a persistent source of suspense, now reaches its critical phase. Technical challenges escalate into crises, unforeseen hazards threaten personnel, and external competitors move aggressively to destabilize progress. The outcome is uncertain, and every success is tenuous, shadowed by the possibility of catastrophic failure. Cammie, whose ambition has driven much of the season's momentum, finds her decisions carrying amplified consequences. Each choice she makes has the potential to intersect with Tommy's world in ways that heighten conflict and tension. The offshore storyline becomes a battleground, not only of resources and profit, but of strategic intelligence and human endurance. Internal dynamics, previously simmering under the surface, reach breaking points. Relationships that have survived tests of loyalty and pressure now strain under the weight of accumulated stress. Miscommunications erupt into confrontations, and subtle resentments erupt with intensity that threatens both personal and professional stability. Cooper and TL, stalwart in previous challenges, face scenarios that test their loyalty and judgment to the extreme. The narrative thrives on these interpersonal complexities, showing that the most volatile elements are often human rather than structural. Every conversation, glance, and gesture carries meaning, contributing to a tension that permeates the entire season. Season three's finale arc intensifies suspense by layering moral dilemmas atop operational hazards. Tommy is confronted with decisions that are both ethically ambiguous and strategically critical. Cammy navigates challenges that threaten not only her enterprise, but her standing with allies, while rival interests exploit fractures in alignment, pushing characters to confront their principles. Every resolution is partial, every victory provisional, and every setback carries reverberations that extend beyond immediate perception. The audience is compelled to follow a narrative where outcomes are uncertain and consequences are magnified by the interplay of ambition, loyalty, and risk. The climax delivers an intricate convergence of threads. Hidden enemies are exposed, alliances shift unexpectedly, and long-held secrets surface to change the trajectory of the story. Tommy's ability to adapt, to anticipate, and to act decisively is tested in ways that redefine his journey. The season highlights that leadership is not merely about decision-making, but about resilience under relentless pressure, the capacity to manage ambiguity, and the strength to endure both betrayal and triumph. By intertwining operational stakes, personal dynamics, and moral challenges, the narrative creates a finale that is suspenseful, emotionally resonant, and intellectually engaging. Ultimately, Landman Season 3 establishes itself as a story of consequences, endurance, and the unpredictable nature of power. Every victory achieved carries hidden risk. Every relationship preserved is tentative. Every maneuver is shadowed by potential failure. Tommy's journey illustrates the relentless tension between aspiration and reality, the fragile line separating control from chaos, and the human cost of ambition in a world defined by uncertainty. As the season closes, the audience is left with a sense of unresolved tension, anticipating not only the outcomes of ongoing conflicts, but the profound ramifications for every character involved. The narrative ensures that suspense persists even beyond the final scenes, leaving viewers primed for the challenges, risks, and dramatic revelations that the next chapter will inevitably bring.